Boogie, drop that beat.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Talking Out Loud with Miss Talkative. Everything I say is my own opinion, alleged, and strictly entertainment purposes. Remember, I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment on the video, let me know what you think. Y'all, Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunions, they need a neutral host. They need a new host. Carlos he's not fit to host these reunions. He is clearly biased and in favor of the Scotts. He's still protecting them. And after all these seasons, it's still evident that the Scotts and Carlos can't be trusted, that they have some type of pact going on. I don't know what it is that the Scotts hold over Carlos. I know a while back, Carlos stated that Tisha reminds him of his mother and Marcel reminds him of his father. And I guess he take that into regard whenever he has to, protect the Scotts, or he's going to bat for the Scotts. But I feel as though that if he want to protect the Scotts and he don't want them to show their true reality, he need to remove them from the show, because this is indeed a reality show. And I feel as though what's good for the goose should be also good for the gander. I don't understand how Tisha gets to elaborate on whatever she wants to elaborate on, but other casts are cut off when they're speaking. How does Tisha get to throw out that Stormy is a pill popper and Carlos not circle back and have Tisha explain herself, or have Stormy explain what Tisha is talking about? And if Tisha needs to apologize for talking out of turn or whatever, I feel as though that should not have been just left out there. I mean, but to allow an accusation like that to be thrown out and just left hanging for people to assume whatever, come to draw up their own conclusion. And what if it's not true? Carlos just allowed Stormy to have her lawsuit against him and the show, as well as Tisha, because you can't sit up there and just throw defaming things out against people on a major network, on a major platform, and feel as though that it's okay because you were in the heat of the moment. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but at the same time, I feel as though people should not be left hanging to draw their own conclusions on that incident. And the plagiarizing of the website, that was brought up by Carlos. So why wouldn't he allow Tisha and Stormy to hash it out? How can Carlos say that Tisha wasn't at fault? Tisha was 100% at fault. Her business was 100% at fault. I don't care who made the error, the web designer, whomever. Like Stormy stated, they only print what you give them. They don't get to decide what you want on your website. They can't make that decision for you. So for Stormy to be cut off before she's allowed to speak her piece and clear up what she needs to clear up, and I feel as though Carlos, he missed the mark on that, trying to protect Tisha. And him being a business owner, he know how bad that can hurt somebody's brand, somebody's business and stuff. So he didn't even have Tisha apologize or ask Tisha if she wanted to apologize. I know you can't make somebody do something, but he could have at least helped Tisha understand her role that she played in it, by downplaying it, by feeling as though that it was nothing, it was damage already done. Yes, but it was damage done to Stormy. So Stormy did give Tisha grace by not suing her. So I feel as though that Carlos, he was still protecting Tisha, still protecting the Scotts. It's like, Tisha knows she didn't do her due diligence. And if I was Stormy, I would have taken them to court. Since Carlos want to move it along, I would have moved my case along right along to the courthouse and allowed Tisha and her web designer to get up there and argue it out. But somebody would have had to pay me for that plagiarism. It's like Carlos let Tisha off the hook way too early. And if I was Stormy, I would have halted that conversation from moving on. I would have let both Carlos and Tisha know why they're not going to play in my face by downplaying the fact that Tisha indeed plagiarized her business, and I want an apology. It's like, Carlos, if you're not going to host or be fair, be neutral, then find somebody else to do it. I mean, if you don't want the Scotts to be mad, if Carlos don't want the Scotts to be mad at him at the end of the reunion, then I feel as though that he need to remove himself altogether. Yes, if he want to be in attendance, that's fine, but I don't feel as though he's fit to be a host. He's proven time and time again that he cannot be trusted. It's like Carlos asked Marcel and Tisha, are they good business people? And Tisha brought up the expo. Carlos should have redirected that question right back to Tisha and Marcel and had her explain, because I don't think he was just talking about the expo. He said good business people. Yes, the expo plays a part in it, but at the same time, aren't they running several businesses? So for her to go just zero in on the expo, it lets you know that Tisha had an agenda all along. And no, they're not good business people, because first of all, good business people need to be able to listen. And Tisha is listening to respond. She's not listening to understand. She's listening to clap back. She's not listening to actually hear anybody out, to have anything resolved. Tisha is coming for an agenda, and it's not a good one because she can't handle it. But just because people critique the expo or critique your business, it doesn't mean that it's hatred. Carlos allowed Tisha to sit up on that stage and play victim regarding that expo, when he should have allowed the people to elaborate what it was, or allowed Tisha to elaborate what part she thought was people were hating on her about. Because the only person that I seen that actually did hate on her was Stormy, and that was after they got her riled up about Marcel asking her for the $100. I mean, yes, Stormy did talk about the design, the decor, everything. So that part she was hating. I give Tisha that. But outside of that, I don't think nobody else was hating. Everybody was giving their constructive criticism. And Tisha, because she can't handle anything and she always wants to curl up and cry and play victim and feel as though everybody's hating on her. First of all, it wasn't even her idea for the expo. It was stated that she took the idea from another person, that they was going to have her come and speak at their event, and she wound up taking their idea and using it as her own. So for Tisha to sit up there and play victim, and Carlos to allow that, I feel as though it's just all types of wrong. And Carlos, he allowed Tisha to talk all over Stormy, and he only interjected once Tisha took a cheap shot talking about Stormy not paying invoices. If Carlos asked a question, can the people actually hear the response before they move forward? Whether Tisha agrees or not with whatever Courtney and Stormy had to say, Carlo asked their opinion. They are not experts in the business. He asked them their opinion. If he had posed a question to Melody, who is also in business, been in business for several years, Tisha would have did the same thing, but because it doesn't matter who he asked the question to, they should have been allowed to answer open and honestly. Why do people have to sugarcoat everything for Tisha? That's what's wrong with Tisha now, and that's why Tisha speak the way she speak. That's why Tisha is lazy like she is, because instead of telling her the truth when she need to hear the truth, they coddle her and they tell her it's okay and no, and they take up for her and don't allow her to correct her errors. And so now when she's out here in the big girl world and she's being critiqued, she can't handle it. She want to bottle up, she want to cry, and she feels as though it's everybody's fault, it's everybody else's hatred for her. But had she been corrected from the beginning, not allowed to plagiarize, not allowed to play with people, and maybe she would have been further along. But I feel as though this goes further back than just an expo. This goes back to everybody trying to tiptoe around Tisha's feelings. And so now here we are where it's not Mel, because so they can't blame Mel for this time. This is somebody altogether new, somebody that her and Stormy were actually friends. So it tells you this is Tisha. Tisha cannot handle any type of critiquing of any sort and kind. And Carlos knows it, and by him trying to protect her, it just makes things worse, because it allows Tisha to her ego to get bigger, and then once he get deflated because she hear the truth, she want to play victim. But like I say, if the question is posed, then I feel as though we deserve to hear the answer. Give us the response. Tisha have she should, when she was up there hollering, talking over Stormy, clapping her hands. Why Carlos didn't stop her? He should have stopped her and told her, hold on, hold up, stop, Tisha. But no, they let her talk because that's what she does to avoid the question, to avoid hearing anything. And it's like, Carlos, he's not fair. He's supposed to be, the referee or whatever, and stay neutral. But all he's doing is adding fuel to the fire. Not one conversation, one point, not one topic got resolved. Everything got brushed over, and Carlos, not the king, is the cause of it. So I don't feel as though he should be hosting the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunions. Just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know what you think.